Welcome to the Referees Officiating Class 101. For those who are not familiar with our class and are new to refereeing, we are here to teach you here in Seattle how to officiate NFL games. Now everybody pay attention. Yeah, I hear you, young whippersnapper back there. I hope you have your assignments in from last time. That's the illegal batting and what to do and what not to do. Please have those papers on my desk by the end of the day. Now please pay attention to the TV screen to the right. It sort of looks like one of those things that they put over your head that operate automatically. Well, I'm assuming this thing's going to operate automatically because I haven't learned one yet. Now our first rule we're going to cover today is block in the back. Now the NFL rules states it's an action in which a blocker contacts a non-ball carrying member of the opposing team from behind and above the waist. This foul carries a 10-yard penalty. Now in Seattle, if you are the Seattle quarterback, this rule does not apply. Take notes and pay attention. This is very important. Rule number 2, pass interference. Now pay attention to the screen. When a player beyond the line of scrimmage significantly hinders the progress of an eligible player's opportunity to catch the ball is pass interference. This penalty marks the ball at the spot of the foul, or if it's in the end zone, is in the 1-yard line. Unless you're in Seattle. All Seattle players are allowed to grab any part of the opposing side's gear or body to reflect the ball. If the Seattle player does not catch the ball, then it is automatically defensive pass interference. Make sure you get that in your notes. That is very important. Now this is the final rule of the day. Roughing the passer refers to making contact with the passer after the ball is thrown, or hitting them in the head or ankle areas. Can also draw this foul. Now again, we're in Seattle, and the Seattle players are allowed to use wrestling techniques like DDTs, backbreakers, and pile drivers. So make sure they get extra points for that, and just look away if it gets too gruesome. Again, refer to the monitor. Well, that was the final rule. Does anybody have any final questions before we break for the day? Okay, good. Class dismissed, and remember,
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks, that's right. Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks, and this is week 19 in the NFL. That's the divisional round playoffs. I hope you enjoyed that skit there. I just wanted to prove a point. Seems like always in Seattle, there's always a lot of no calls or calls that just go against whoever Seattle's playing. You know, you not only like the batted ball a couple years ago against Seattle, but like the Fail Mary has another one. The Julio Jones catch earlier this year, the no call there. Just unreal on how blind they can be sometimes. It's only in Seattle, usually. You know, it happens here and there in other games, but it seems like every year there's a couple games that Seattle, you know, the refs there just no clue. Let's go over the picks I gave you last week there. Last week I went 3-1 against the spread and 2-2 against the over. Basically, you know, of course the lines, which I thought would keep it close, but you know, those refs at the end of the game, you know, Seattle scored an additional 2 touchdowns. It just blew it over. And another thing, I didn't figure the Texans would score as much. That's probably the most points they scored all year. And I didn't think Green Bay would score as much because that's the most points Giants gave up all year. So that's what failed me on my 3 picks. So I'm 5-3 overall in the week. Still 65% for the year. Very good. See, let's go over my pools real quick. The pools, like I said, I went 4-0 straight up, which I give you the winners straight up as well, but I don't count those in my average. And 3-1 on my ATS. Pretty good. It's hard to you know, move up in the playoff time, but basically the Geo ATS, I'm still in 4th, and straight up still 6th. Pick 'em and shut up playoffs. Finished 2nd. I got the tiebreaker, so finished 2nd in that league. That's closed for the year. Same with the SFCE Challenge. That ended no playoffs, so that ended 54th. Both those finished good, right where I wanted to be. Bridgewater's Finest, I'm in number 3, straight up, and 4 ATS. If I'm lucky, I might move up a place or 2. There's only a handful of games left. The PSI, I tied for 2nd. I moved up there as the leader scored 0. I scored 6 points there. And the, yeah, that's the gridiron game. That's my money pool. Hatbox, I'm still straight in the straight up. I moved up actually 2. I was in 10th and now I'm in 8th. So not too shabby. I had a good week last week. And those who, Twittered me on that Clemson Alabama game, you know, I gave those guys what I bet, and I ended up I bet on Clemson +6 with the over, and I won on both of those. So, you know, for those who messaged me, I got the message and I answered you back. Hope you played, all of you guys played those, and I don't mind, you know, giving those out. But this is an NFL show. This isn't a college show. I would love to make out a college show or make hockey or something, but you know, just don't have that much time. If I did this full time, I would love to do sports all the way around, but you know, it's just for fun. That's all this is, just for fun. So that's it for the intro here, and let's get the picks rolling. All right, my 4th pick of the week, my upset pick of the week, we got Pittsburgh traveling to Kansas City. Pittsburgh is a 2-point underdog. I'm going to take those 2 points. I'll give you a little in-depth analysis on why I'm picking Pittsburgh. All 4 games this weekend, all teams have played each other earlier in the season. So, you know, you take that into account, plus you take, you know, the home team's non-divisional games with the away team's non-divisional games, and you kind of match them up. So let's see, Pittsburgh, their non-divisional on the road games. Let's see, they beat Washington by 22 points. They lost to Philadelphia by 31 points and lost to 15 against Miami, at Miami. And then, you know, I remember they had a lot of injury at that time, about mid-season, and they came back strong. And they played Indianapolis, won by 21 against Indianapolis, which Andrew Luck was on at concussion protocol, which, you know, I saw over the weekend, and no one got set. You know, it makes no sense. And then they beat Buffalo in Buffalo by 7. So that's a pretty good streak there. Now let's look at Kansas City at home against non-divisional teams. We got a win against the Jets by 21 points, against New Orleans by 6, a win against Jacksonville for 5, and then lost to Tampa Bay by 1 and lost to Tennessee by 2. So that tells me they keep it kind of close. This will probably be a close battle. but the teams they played at home, non-divisional wise, aren't very good. Jets, Jacksonville, Tennessee, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, still both two non-playoff teams. Tampa Bay probably be the strongest, as they almost made it. But yeah, Pittsburgh, tougher schedule, tougher teams they played. They played up against, like New England and Dallas, as to where Kansas City didn't have that hard of a schedule. So here, the Kansas City is the 20th ranked offense and the 27th ranked defense, as to where Pittsburgh is the 7th ranked offense and the 12th ranked defense. So that's why I'm picking Pittsburgh as my upset pick of the week. Pittsburgh's 5-3 on the road, where Kansas City's 6-2 on the road. And I got the 45 points, the under over, and I'm taking the under. And my final score, I think, will be Pittsburgh wins this straight up 24-17, which gives you a 41 point under over. Like I said, it's 45. If you see it dipping under 41, take the over. But 45 points, take the under, taking Pittsburgh +2. My third pick of the week, we got Houston traveling to New England. New England is a 16-point favorite, and I'm going to take them. Earlier in the week, week 3, they played as 27-0. It's a powerhouse team against, somehow a team that made it in from a bad division into the playoffs. But we'll look at the stats anyway. This should be a big blowout. New England at home against non-divisional teams, like I said, it's 27-0 against Houston. So 27 points. Wins 18 points against Cincinnati. They lost to Seattle by 7, and they won by 16 the Rams, and they won by 7 against Baltimore. At Baltimore, I think it should have been a bigger, higher spread, but they shot themselves in the foot with a couple turnovers on special teams. But on that note, Houston will look at their road games against non-divisional teams. Like I said, lost by 27 in New England, lost by 18 against Minnesota, lost by 18 against Denver, lost by 7 against Oakland, and lost by 8 against Green Bay. So, like I said, this would be a big wallop. I'm taking New England -16, as they are 6-2 at home, where Houston's only 2-6 on the road. Huge difference. In this game, though, it's 44.5 points. I'm taking the under, as I think New England will win this game 33-6, which gives a total score of 39 points. So take the under 44.5 and New England -16. My number 2 pick of the week, we got Green Bay traveling to Dallas. Dallas is a 4-point favorite. Sometimes you can see them at 4.5, 4. I even saw it as low as 3, but average is 4, so I'm taking Dallas -4. Dallas 7-1 on the road, as to where Green Bay's 4-4 on the road. Dallas 5th ranked offense, 14th ranked defense, and Green Bay 8th ranked offense. It's still pretty good. 22nd ranked defense, not too good. There's a lot of things going on with Green Bay. Jordy Nelson has several cracked ribs and won't be playing. They say Ty Montgomery, his knee was injured. He might play this weekend, so I'm counting that he is playing. They don't have any other running back other than a fullback, and his name's too long to pronounce. But let's look at the stats here. Dallas at home against non-divisional teams. They won by 14 against Chicago, won by 14 against Cincinnati, won by 10 against Baltimore, won by 6 against Tampa Bay, and won by 21 against Detroit. So that's 6 points against all those teams. Teams similar, it would be probably like Detroit, Cincinnati, Green Bay, where they still would have covered. Green Bay on the road, non-divisional games. They won, pretty close ones. Won by 5 against Jacksonville, lost by 1 against Atlanta, lost by 22 against Tennessee, lost by 18 against Washington, and they did beat Philadelphia by 14. So most of those teams are pretty bad, and they lost half of them, or most of them. So I mean, Green Bay is a different animal on the road. They are a great home team. They did run the table, but only one of these games in this criteria fits in that run of the table. Like I said, in this, they got the under and over at 52, which is kind of high. But I am, since Green Bay doesn't have much of a defense, Dallas 14th ranked defense, but you're going against Aaron Rodgers, so they will score some points. I got this game 32-24, somewhat close, and it's a score of 56, so they'll just cover the over. So I'm taking over 56 and Dallas -4. And my number one pick of the week, we got Seattle traveling to Atlanta. Atlanta is a 4.5 point favorite. Atlanta's second ranked offense and 25th ranked defense, as to where Seattle is 12th ranked offense and 5th ranked defense. So the offense and defense will match up pretty good. Same with going the other way. The offense and defense will rank up with Seattle's and Atlanta. So it's a pretty evenly matched, believe it or not. So if you look at the records, this is where it gets you. So Atlanta at home, while they lost the 3 against non-divisional teams, lost the 3 against San Diego, 1 against Green Bay at 1 point, won 19 against Arizona, lost by 1 at Kansas City, and won by 28 against San Francisco. But so they're fairly good home team. They're 5-3. As to Seattle, here's the kicker. Seattle's 3-4-1 on the road. Not a great road team. Against non-divisional teams, they beat the Jets by 10. They lost by 5 at New Orleans. They won in New England by 7. But at the stretch here is where they started losing. They lost by 9 against Tampa Bay in Tampa. They lost 28 points in Green Bay. And of course, the final week of the season, they lost the divisional foe. They won by 2 against the divisional foe, the 49ers. So not good. And of course, the defense is a little banged up. Their offense, it's slow and steady. If they get behind, I see Atlanta, if they get ahead and Seattle has to catch up, it's not really a good combination for Seattle. That's why they usually lose. So if you get that early lead, that's what I think will probably happen, or hope to happen with Atlanta. They jump to early lead where Seattle has to play catch up, and they'll probably fail because they're not a pass first team. So but the running game did get better, but it's against Detroit last week. So in the under overs at 51, I had this game going over. So we got Atlanta by 34-24, so they'll win by 10 points. All right, it's 58 points, so take over 51 and Atlanta -4.5. All right, that's it for the week. Someone asked me to recap them at the end in case they skip. If you don't want to follow all that, just give you a quick recap. I got Atlanta -4.5, over 51 my first pick. My second pick, I got Dallas -4, and that is over 52. And my third pick, I got Houston at New England. I got New England -16 at under 44.5. And my final pick, I got Pittsburgh +2 under 45 points. So the contest winner last week, we actually someone hit it on the nose. I said Russell Wilson. How many passing points would he have? He didn't do much passing, so I figured 210. I was only 14 yards off, but someone nailed it on the head. Wayne Lowry, he got right there at 224, right on the head. Actually, Gio knows I thought it was gonna get it. He was off by 1 yard, 225. He has a great site. Check his links out below. Out of these pools and all this fun information picks, is a great team. They're on Facebook. That link's below as well. A lot of great prognosticators. You know, you got some time. Check out their picks. Next year, you definitely want to join the pools and the fantasy leagues. It's a lot to soak in, but it's a lot of fun, you know. And us as prognosticators, we'll go on our video, say how we're doing in the picks. If I were to host one, I would say who's winning and what's the scores and all that good stuff. But I just so busy most of the time. But I'd love to join them. I don't want to host them though. But that's why I host everybody else. I mean, I join everybody else's. So that's lots of fun. But don't forget, I am here. I'll be here next week, and the championship games and the Super Bowl. I give you my final thoughts. Leave your likes and comments below. Let me know what you think, what I should add, and I will see you next week. Peace. Oh yeah, I forgot to add what my contest will be next week, and I'll put your name in lights here. I'm going to do the Pittsburgh at Kansas City game. What do you think the final score is? I already gave you mine. I said it's going to be 24-17. So tell me what you think. If you're the closest with the winner, I will put your name in my video, and I will see ya. Peace.